uh, it's fantastic. The world is such a small thing when you can contact people that you get inspired with. So thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you for having me.
So my name is Ashat Oskimbaev. I live in Kazakhstan, and one of my digital platforms devoted to music is Radioshow Armatura. So
Okay.
part of our activity is contacting fantastic people, having interviews, asking questions, and maybe telling something about our country, about, I don't know, future concerts here.
Okay, cool.
So first of all, thank you for your brilliant album, Paradise. Before that album, actually, I didn't know any of your songs, but when I found that Pearl, I fell in love with what you do. Could you please tell me, why do you have such a name, Paradise? What does it mean?
Well, para means to counter or to go against the force.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like you know, parachute. It comes from going against that wind or countering. And dice, for me, that represents taking risks and chances in life to reach your goal. Sometimes you gotta throw the dice and just go with it and go full on. Because if you never dare to, you know, play and throw the dice, then you don't know how far you will go. Oh, obviously, when we connect these words, we get paradise. And I think in most people's minds, a paradise is a very, very happy place. It's happiness and it's harmony and all that. But I believe that you have to go through some obstacles and difficulties and challenges as well in life to really get to know who you are and to really reach that happiness.
Wow.
So that's, for me, is paradise.
Sounds quite deep. Sounds quite interesting. Look, I'm a desperate vinyl lover, so I have a big collection of vinyls. And the first thing I did, I checked if you have vinyl for Paradise. But so far yeah. But I mean, is it difficult for you to have not only CD and streaming, but also to consider vinyl as well?
Well, actually, you're not the first person who asked me. There are some vinyl lovers out there who actually would like me to make some vinyls. So I guess depending on how much requests, I guess I will think about that. You know, maybe for the future.
Okay. So there is chance. Look. Now is 2020. So talking about music, well, rock music, everything was said and done, but you came up with something new, something fresh, something really solid. Tell me, how did you do that? Where did you get your inspiration, and what led you to your new album?
Well, actually, after my previous album, Grounded, I had this period of time when nothing happened. You know, I was trying to find a record label together with my manager, who was living in Los Angeles, but nothing happened. There was a lot of tour possibilities, but it just remained like maybe, you know. So we were, you know, with the band, we're having hopes up and, you know, trying, but after 2 years, I realized it just didn't work, you know. It didn't work out, and I stopped working with my manager. And I kind of hit the bottom there with the music, because I felt like, now what? Now I have to start all over again, you know, because that happens every time. If you change the team, it's like starting from zero in a way. So I was actually about to, I was almost giving up, you know. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm too tired of this business part. And I met my husband, and he got really upset with me when he heard how I sang, and he was like, yeah, like you cannot give up, you know. So he brought me back that joy of singing. He took me to karaoke bars, you know, and I really pushed myself out of my comfort zones and started to get, you know, playful with the singing again. And he also played in a metalcore band,
Mm.
So he showed me a lot of new music that I hadn't really listened to before. And also I loved the way he was drumming. So I was like, oh, actually, like, that's what I want for my next album. I want like a little bit more of that flair, that heaviness. So
Mm.
that's where the inspiration kicked in. But when that inspiration got really confirmed was that by a long chain of people, I met a director in Australia.
Mm.
I was there for a film festival, and he helped me. So he helped me find the label in Germany, and then before I knew it, we signed a deal, and I went on tour with the band in Europe, and that's really when it hit me how I want the album to sound, because with the band we're much heavier live.
Yeah.
So Grounded is still pretty pop rock, and you can also hear that it's produced. But on the stage we have this really different vibe, and the guys can really like come forward with who they are as musicians. So it's
Mm.
like, oh, this is the way I gotta go. Like make
Mm.
the third album sound more like who we are live. So
Wow.
yeah.
It's so interesting because I heard some metalcore tunes in your album, and I was like, wow, this mix is just, it just blows my mind. So it's so cool that you mentioned it. But by the way, who's responsible for lyrics in your band? Is it you or are there any other
Yeah,
people?
it's me. 95%
Wow.
or 90. Yeah. I usually I travel around. The last album I was mostly in Finland and Sweden, but normally what I do is that I write one max 3 songs with the same songwriter, and
Oh.
then I switch to another songwriter. But it's pretty rare for the same songwriter to have like three songs on the album with me. So we
Mm.
write together. I do both melody and lyrics together with the other person. I love to do it that way because I think when you work with somebody else, they can bring out the best in you, and you can bring out the best in them if
Mm.
it works well. And also, I prefer to work with different people because then it also adds something new. You know, I think sometimes if you write with the same person, the songs tend to start to sound quite the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I work around, and then I just let the band members pretty much, when I write the songs and I get the demos, they sound like really like pop normally, because I focus a lot on the melody. I want the melody to be catchy,
Yeah.
and then the producer, and together with the band members, they just rip it apart and just do their thing to give that heavy sound. So it's a teamwork effort.
Fantastic. Uh, when you said that when I write this or that song, are there any specific moments when you get that idea, when you get the feeling, or like what kind of
Yeah.
moments are there?
Well, one really good example of a moment was Ella's song, which is the first song on the album.
The devil's on my side. I hate waking up with the feeling of shame, knowing what's on my way. Every day's the same. The face in the mirror, it's not anymore.
And it started with I saw this post on Facebook through a charity organization.
Uh-huh.
Ella's mother was trying to get help because Ella was so school bullied that she didn't dare to go outside of her house.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, I contacted the mother through the charity organization. I said, okay, well, maybe, I can come and hang out with her, take walks, or we can talk, chill, train, So I started to meet up with Ella, and then all of a sudden it just hit me that I have to write her story. I have to write her song. So I asked her what she thought about the idea, and she loved the idea. So Ella's song it's her story. So when I was
Wow.
in the studio writing the lyrics based on what she told me, and then she was confirming that she thought they fit. So that was one. The other example, for instance, the Sunny Side of the Bay. That's pretty much exactly all the lyrics are directly taken from what I felt when I was, for instance, on tour. Because it's like, you know, people think when you're on a tour that, okay, you're in the spotlight and it's great, and it is. But then also that homesickness you get, and when you really miss the person at home, and also the feeling that your dream it's not gonna be complete without that person. It could be all there, but it's still always gonna, you know, missing home. And then, you know, sometimes I get just a thought, just an idea. It starts from there, and then the song starts to live its own life and go its own direction.
What about Kill Switch? Is there any story behind it?
Yeah, it actually, this doesn't necessarily have to represent like a relationship, you know, a love relationship. It can also be a relationship with a family member or a friend. But it's about when somebody has some sort of mental sickness, like depression or drug abuse or addiction or something like that, and how they're, you know, pulling you down with them. And at some point, you have to just break free from that and make the decision to hit the kill switch. And this conversation actually started, I was catching up with a songwriter, the first songwriter I ever met. Actually, without him, I would not do this Jessica Wolff thing. We met when I was like 17, and we started writing. So we met up to write this song, and then we were just having a conversation about things, and he told me, I was like, yeah, you know, I was partying the first time in a month the other day, and I still have such a bad hangover, and I feel terrible, and I only have 7 drinks. And so for some reason we got into this conversation also about how so many people these days take drugs, like how, you know, the drug culture, it's just been like booming, you know, like it's so normal that people take drugs.
Right.
Actually, I never tried hard drugs because I think that I won't miss what I will never know. We're talking a lot about that, and also I had some friends that I knew who had like really rough drug problems as well, so that's why that's how we got into that subject, and we wanted to play around with that.
Awesome. Look, I'm sure that with the growing popularity of your album, you're gonna get some proposals from bands or from musicians to cooperate with them. I don't know, well, maybe to sing together. But are there any musicians you would like to cooperate with? I don't know, legends or just specific particular people or bands?
Yeah, actually, I just got the same question the other day, and the first person who popped in is Asaf Avidan. I don't know if you heard about him. He sings very different music style than I do. But I don't know, there's something with his songs that just always reaches to my soul, you know. So to do a duet with him would be great. Or from Takira, it's a Swedish band, one of my favorite bands. Or Biffy Clyro.
Or whom?
Biffy Clyro.
Well, I'm not sure if I know, but it's so interesting that you mentioned the local musicians. Well, all the Scandinavian area, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark. It's so strong and powerful in terms of its own sound. Because when you hear band from that area, you can say, "Oh, those guys are from Finland," or that one is a Swedish sound. So it's so interesting that your area has its own face.
I think it has something to do with the long and dark winters, you know. It becomes pretty, you know, heavy.
Do you have any dream to come true as a musician? Like do you have ultimate goal?
Well, I mean, tours and to be able to make some kind of living out of it.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah.
My ultimate goal. But I never had that, you know, my goal has never been to be super famous or, you know, a lot of people when they're young teenagers go like, yeah, I want to be a famous and rich artist, you know,
Yeah.
but that's never actually been the case with music for me. I'm just
Mm.
very thankful when I get to do that and sing live to connect with the audience. That's what I love the most. So yeah, the ultimate goal would be to be able to make a living out of it.
Nice. Look, from one side you are actress, and from other side you're a singer, you're a musician. Which part do you feel most confident with, or like where do you get the most satisfaction from one side or from another?
That's a tough one. I mean, I love acting, and the reason why is because I love to kind of collect experiences in life. You know, I like to try a lot of different things, different extreme sports, adventures, meet people. You know, I just love to live fully. And I think acting is a bit like a wine tasting. You get to taste different flavors and parts and experiences without actually having to go fully there. You know? That's why I love acting, but then singing is different in a way because I'm more myself. I'm not like playing so much of a character, and that feeling when you're live with the audience, you can't compare that with acting. It's very different. So I think I would choose singing for that reason. That amazing feeling when it's the give and take between the audience and you. Yeah, it's magical.
Thank you. It was, yeah, you're right. It was tough to decide. Imagine you're going on tour. I don't know, it's half a year tour or maybe a 1 year duration tour. Can you name 3 of your favorite albums you'd like to take with you on tour? Not your albums, but of some musicians.
Oh, wow. Yeah, actually, it's a pretty tough question because normally I don't listen so much to albums. I listen to very different kind of songs. I always been more of a song fan than an album fan. So I just take from here and there, and it can be sometimes it's country, sometimes it's trance, sometimes it's hard rock, sometimes it really depends on the song. So, but definitely it would be probably, yeah, Biffy Clyro, Takida, and yeah, what could the third one be? But and 30 Seconds to Mars is another one I like a lot. So, but I probably couldn't choose an album, but I know that I love pretty much all of the songs I hear from these bands. So,
Interesting. Do you collect something? Like, do you have collection of something? Well, not guitars, but I don't know.
I do. I have yes, one thing is dolphins, but I'm gonna actually show you my other collection. Hold on. Can you see this?
Wow, dolphins.
So this is. I started when I was about 8 years old, and every special memory for me is pretty much on this board. So yeah, that's my collection.
Oh, wow! I think the video's switched off right now.
Yeah, hold on. It's the subway delivery guy. he's calling me. Sorry. Yeah, I just opened the door for him. Yes, that's my other collection.
It's, you know, it's so interesting because when you check for information in internet, you cannot find anything like this. Well, because most of the information is basic and it's quite it's quite well, it's limited. And thank you for this opportunity to know more about people that you get inspired with.
Thank you.
Can you describe your relations with the tattoos?
Tattoos.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Uh-huh. What?
my that's my engagement tattoo.
Oh.
Mika, show your finger. This is my husband, by the way.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey. Hi there.
Yeah.
See?
Wow.
Yeah. And then we have
Nice.
that.
Oh, so romantic.
But actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, because just the other day, my friend was at my place, and he's a really good tattoo artist.
Mhm.
And I asked him to draw a tattoo for me that actually I've been wanting for more than 15 years.
Mm.
So, but a good friend said to me that there's never a rush with tattoos. Once you get them, they're gonna stay. So yeah.
Mm.
And then, of course, also I want 2 tattoos. That was the first one I was talking about. The other one, I want 2 dice in my neck.
Wow. Cool. Imagine that this pandemic thing is over. The borders are now open, and you can travel again with concerts. And imagine that you get a request from Kazakhstan and Central Asia in general. What do we need to arrange your gig in our country, in our city? Like, I don't know what.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess the plane tickets and somewhere to sleep for the band, but I mean, that's what I'm going for. I'm happy with that. I don't need to win anything and going on tour, as long as I don't, lose anything, because going on tours, it's very expensive, so it's not something you can do just like that, and
Right.
I need support money from organizations and so on. So yeah. But then while being on tour, like, one good deal we had last time was that we can sell our own merchandise, so that helps to kind of pay the band.
Talking about your band, do you have permanent band members, or they change from time to time?
Yeah, I think the guy who's been the longest in my band with this setup, well, we started maybe 2012, I think.
Oh.
Thing like that. Some other guys they've been around for quite a few years. We went to Japan and India together, and now the bass player that we used to have, he couldn't join on the last tour. So a new bass player, but he really rocks, and he works with the band so well. It's like a hand in a glove. He can't stay still on stage. He's jumping up and down.
Wow. If it's possible, could you please later on send a link just to see the band members and their names? Because I saw their picture on Facebook, but names and a bit more details would be perfect, because the thing you did with Paradise altogether is amazing.
Thank you.
And I looked at the charts, German charts and other charts in your area, and the results are quite good. In I think it was metal. I forgot the name of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So metal chart in Germany.
Yeah, last week it was 10th, and this week it's 9 already. So you're picking up, and
I'm picking up. Yeah,
it's
amazing the response, because I knew I was also taking a risk. I was really throwing the dice with this album by changing the style to much heavier. So I was a bit wondering, how are people gonna, receive this? But so far I had really good reviews. So I'm super thankful for that. Yeah, it's throwing that dice.
Good, fantastic. So I'm so happy that we had this conversation. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I wish you big luck, and I think that one day we're gonna meet. We'll find a reason to invite you and and the whole band with the gig here in Almaty and maybe in neighboring Central Asian countries.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely.
Thank you.
One last thing, I show you something that people
Yeah.
don't know unless they buy the album.
Uh-huh.
But I have 2 covers for the album. This is the other one.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's so yeah, if you buy the album and you just take it out and flip it around, you get the other one. Because that was the original idea I wanted for the album cover. But then we realized that this picture doesn't really explain what the music likes. It could be, this could be trance or pop as well. So that's why we chose another picture. But
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.